F-18 pilots are safe after being rescued when their planes collided and crashed in the Atlantic Ocean. The two F-18 fighter jets went down after apparently flying into each other during a training exercise. The pilots were rescued by the Coast Guard and taken safely back to land. The planes are stationed at Beaufort Marine Corps Air Station not far from Charleston. Around the nation tonight, the NTSB sent a team to New York to investigate a deadly ferry accident this afternoon. A ferry that shuttles passengers between Manhattan and Staten Island crashed as it docked on the Staten Island side. At least 10 people are dead, 34 others are injured. Winds were gusting at 45 miles an hour at the time of the accident. The price at the gas pump has taken a dip in recent weeks, but it's still higher than a year ago. And some consumer groups are voicing their concerns about the price volatility in Washington. Brooke Hart reports.
It's a big pocketbook issue for consumers. How much to fill it up? The average gas price is up 26 cents a gallon from 3 years ago, according to the Consumer Federation of America. Some consumer and environmental groups blame the increase on big oil, an industry they say because of mergers is now dominated by too few companies.
ExxonMobil, BP Amoco Arco, Chevron Texaco, Phillips Tosco Conoco, Shell Motiva Equilon, and Deer Park. Now, those are 14 names, and they represent 5 oil companies.
The Consumer Federation argues those big oil companies restrict supply to keep gas prices high, making consumers vulnerable to price spikes. To one energy economist, recent price swings have been wild, but not manipulated.
There have been a lot more shocks to the system. There have been wars on terrorism, which has sent oil prices on wild rides. We had a couple of winters, which increased demand and cut back on supply. We've had some pipeline breaks. But there's no conspiracy involved.
And consumer groups blame the oil industry for cutting reserves that could dampen price increases.
We're down to a day and a half of economic reserves, that is, reserves above the minimum operating efficiencies. We used to have a week or 10 days.
It costs a tremendous amount of money to hold inventory. Companies generally don't make money if they put aside gasoline stocks or oil stocks.
Pump prices are, on average, 17 cents a gallon less than they were in August. The American Petroleum Institute, evidence that what the market suddenly sends up can as quickly come down. Both consumer groups and more conservative economists agree that consumers driving fuel-efficient vehicles are hurt least by price spikes and less energized about whether big oil or Washington is to blame. In Washington, Brooke Hart, NBC News.
Around the world tonight, 3 American security guards have been killed in a deadly attack on a U.S. target in Gaza. The blast ripped apart an armored vehicle in a U.S. diplomatic convoy. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack. Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat is condemning the blast. Many people don't pay much attention to them most of the year, but when fall comes around, a lot of people want to know what the woolly worm is predicting. Coming up on News Center 5 tonight, we'll tell you about an event that will honor these fuzzy creatures. And PJ has the latest from the baseball playoffs next in sports.
You see that? Now, just what compels a man to drive a car like that? Would some style and more power be too much to ask? Not in my world. The 2004 Grand Prix GT with the largest V6 in its class. The new power of Pontiac. That's fuel for the soul.
Lease a 2004 Grand Prix GT with driver's package for around $277 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. See your Mountain Empire Pontiac dealers.
You'll find late-night savings on all your favorite brands at Goodies Moonlight Madness Sale. Shop Friday till 11 and all day Saturday for savings in every department. Seniors 55 and over save an extra 15% off your entire purchase Friday, and everyone takes an extra 10% off your entire purchase Saturday. Plus, take an extra 30% off clearance Friday and Saturday. Doorbuster specials Friday and Saturday. The Moonlight Madness Sale Friday till 11 and all day Saturday at Goodies.
Late night savings. Register at any Goodies to win a new Camry, courtesy of Rick McGill's Airport Toyota at the Knoxville Airport.
There's a place that serves tender and delicious certified Angus beef just the way you like it. Plus plump and juicy chicken and mouth-watering premium quality pork. Where's this meat place? At your place, when you buy the top quality meats from the food experts at Food City.
Save with your value card on boneless bottom round roast, $1.99 a pound. Select Eastern apples or Florida oranges and ruby red grapefruit, 2 for $4. And select Campbell's Chunky Soup, buy one, get one free.
And that makes you a food expert too.
How did Lincoln Lincoln Mercury become such a powerful force in SUVs? Diversification. The big, bold Lincoln Navigator, the spirited Lincoln Aviator, the versatile Mercury Mountaineer. Now with up to $6,000 cash back on select Lincoln Mercury SUVs or 0% APR for 5 full years. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
This week, the state of the Catholic Church. Brian Williams reports from Rome. Plus, how long will you live? Scientists find the first gene responsible for human aging. NBC Nightly News this week.
News Center 5 Sports Scoreboard is brought to you by Bracken Paving.
PJ's here with sports.
You know, baseball's a funny game, but nothing funny about that Chicago fan last night that interfered with the catch. Cub fans aren't going to forget that, and nothing funny about tonight's game. All business. After a wild Game 6, the Cubs and Marlins return to Wrigley Field tonight with the winner advancing to the World Series, Mark Redmond facing Kerry Wood, and the Cubs' worst nightmare. A shaky start by their ace pitcher, Kerry Wood. Miguel Cabrera takes him deep, and the Fish are off and running. They lead it 3-0. But Kerry Wood's a Texan. He does things the hard way. He ties up the game. He says, hey, I give up the home run, so what do? I get one right back with the big stick. He goes long into the night. It's 3-3. Then the Cubs go up 5-3. Moises Alou, just a line drive shot over left field. And that is out of here. But here come the Fish again. Another comeback. Derek Lee with the RBI. And the Marlins regain the lead. How about some insurance runs? Say the Fish. And how about this? Alex Gonzalez finds a gap out there, and Lofton boots it. A couple of runs are going to score. Gonzalez tries to stretch it into a triple, but it really doesn't matter. The Cubs fall just short tonight, and the Marlins are headed to the World Series. It's a final. Florida wins Game 7, 9-6 over the Cubs. The season ends for the Chicago Cubs after they were just a few outs away last night. They lose tonight, 9-6, and the Marlins will be headed to the World Series. Well, it will take 7 games to decide the American League champion. Today, the Red Sox rallied to beat the Yankees. That means Pedro Martinez will get another shot at the Yankees and Roger Clemens. This game was tied at 1 when David Ortiz hits a double to the gap. You know, this is a big hit for Ortiz. He's been a horrible slump. Seemed like a lifetime, but watch him just wave the magic wand where no one is. 3-1 Boston. Sox out another run, and they take a 4-1 lead. But those Yankees, they can score from top to bottom. Alfonso Soriano rips a bullet to the gap. The Yanks regain the lead 5-4. But Red Sox superstar Nomar Garciaparra would come to the front when his team needed him the most. Snaps out of his slump with this long pop fly, only it's not a pop fly. The wind catches it and knocks it off the wall. Garciaparra has a triple for sure, but when Matsui throws the ball into the stands, Nomar can walk home with another run. And Boston has cut it to 1, tied at 6. A walk by the bullpen. Johnny Damon walks, Ortiz scores, and the Sox lead. Then Trot Nixon puts this game away with an upper deck shot to win Game 6, 9-6. The Red Sox beat the Yankees in Yankee Stadium to force Game 7, and they told you, hey, we're not done yet.
I said it a lot last night, and a lot of people laughed at me, but this team just gives us a chance. And, you know, we had our backs to the ball even more so after giving up a 3-run lead and then turn around being down 2 and still coming away and fighting through that game and finding a way to win. But we've got one more game tomorrow.
The way that game went down out there, it typified our whole season. The majority of our season was played just like that, and we were glad to come out on top.
Joe, of all the big games you've played in this building the last 8 years, can you just give a sense of what you think it's going to be like tomorrow night, Game 7 between these two teams?
I guess it was supposed to come down to 7 games, as much as you hate to think about it, coming out here with a one-game advantage today. But they battled like, you know, we battled each other all year. We battled back, they battled back, and it just was no quit in either ball club. You certainly take your hat off to them, and tomorrow, at least we know tomorrow will be the last day.
Or at least we think it will. High school football season is moving right along, and Dobbs Bennett High School has one of the best records in the state, and Duran Ferguson is one of the reasons why. Ferguson is the TV5 High School Football Player of the Week. In a 35-10 dismantling of Sevier County Friday night, the DB quarterback did a little bit of everything. He threw for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns, and of course, he runs that offense to perfection. You know, Ferguson is the kind of player that can beat you with his arm or his leg. He says one of his favorite players is Byron Leftwich, and this week he has an honor that Byron doesn't have because he's the TV5 Player of the Week.
Okay, thank you, PJ. Finally here this evening, if you find some woolly worms, you could actually be making a little money. The 26th annual Woolly Worm Festival is scheduled for this weekend in Banner Elk, North Carolina. The woolly worms attract many people to the event, but this year there aren't that many woolly worms. So the Chamber of Commerce is offering $1 for each worm you can find.
I do not know why, but you're right. It doesn't seem like they're out in force like they usually are. And this is the time for it. I mean, you know, in only be another week or so, there'll be none at all again.
The Chamber is willing to pay up to $500, but the worms have to be alive. The Tonight Show is next.
It's The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.